Welcome to the orientation for Registered Family Childcare. You are viewing this presentation because you are considering becoming a Registered Family Childcare home, meaning you plan to care for 6 children or less in your home. The purpose of this presentation is to familiarize you with the regulations involved in this type of care and how to complete the application process. We are going to cover a lot of information in a rather short amount of time today. Please do not feel overwhelmed. You do not have to try to memorize what is discussed today or take extensive notes. Everything we are going to cover today is from the Family Childcare Regulations. You will be given adequate time to complete all the requirements discussed today. It is okay if you do not meet every requirement today. The general requirements. Family Childcare Home must be registered under the name of one caregiver. It must be located in the residence of the caregiver. Therefore, you must care for the children in your home, not the child's home or someone else's home. The caregiver cannot operate longer than 18 consecutive hours in a 24-hour period. You must have 6 hours of rest without children in care. The inspection and investigation. A caregiver must allow reasonable on-site monitoring inspection by the West Virginia DHHR with or without advance notice. Your yearly reviews will be scheduled in advance. You will also receive at least one unannounced visit each year. During these inspections, the caregiver must provide access to the premises and to all aspects of the family childcare home operation, including the children in care and the household members. The caregiver must cooperate in the investigation of complaints against the home. The caregiver must be 18 years of age. You must be able to read and write. The caregiver needs to ensure that alcoholic beverages or illegal substances are not used and that no one present in the home is under the influence of those substances during the time children are in care. The caregiver must keep information about children in care and their families confidential, except for required reporting to the West Virginia DHHR. The health requirements. A caregiver must obtain a physical and a TB test or a TB risk assessment or a negative chest x-ray within 30 days of application. Medical examinations completed up to 6 months prior to the application are acceptable. So if you have been to any doctor for any reason in the last 6 months, you can take the medical form and request that they complete it from that visit. Medical examinations and TB tests are good for 2 years once they are completed. The TB risk assessments are often what is given at the health departments instead of TB test. We will also accept a chest x-ray in place of the TB test. There is a section on the provider's medical form for this information. The provider physical must be on the provider medical form, but the TB test can be separate. Training requirements. The caregiver must have approved training in first aid and basic choke saving within 6 months of application and to be renewed 30 days prior to expiration. First aid CPR trainings may be obtained from any agency of your choice, but online first aid CPR trainings will not be accepted. The caregiver must have 2 hours of other approved health and safety training. They must, within 12 months of the initial registration, obtain 4 additional hours of training in at least one other core knowledge area. Thereafter, they have to complete 8 hours of approved training annually and maintain all training records. The professional development opportunities are available at your local resource and referral agency. You will also receive information throughout the year regarding statewide provider trainings and conferences. You may obtain your training from any source you choose, including online training. However, if you choose a training that is not a West Virginia STARS registered training, you should check with your regulatory specialist to ensure that the training will be approved. Background checks. The caregiver and any household member over 18 years of age must sign a statement of criminal record and consent to West Virginia DHHR to check for child and adult abuse and neglect. They must all submit fingerprints for criminal background check. This will be done at the application and at least every 5 years thereafter. You must report arrest, charges, indictments, and convictions of a caregiver and household members to the West Virginia DHHR regulatory specialists within 24 hours of their occurrence. Background check forms will be included in your initial packet. Once your completed packet is returned to the address included in your packet, you will be sent information on how the fingerprinting will be completed. The National Sex Offender Registry is also checked on all adult household members. Supervision of children. The caregiver must be physically present at the family child care home and within sight and hearing of all children in care. The caregiver must observe children in cribs and playpens every 15 minutes. When supervising outdoor play, the caregiver must remain outdoor with the children when there is a pool, pond, hot tub, pail, or other body of water, or there are children 6 years of age or younger present. The caregiver must be awake when the children are in care. The only exception being during overnight care, a caregiver is permitted to sleep when all children are asleep. We will discuss overnight care requirements later in this presentation. The family child care home capacity. The caregiver shall have no more than 6 children in care that are under 13 years of age at any one time. No more than 2 of the children may be under 24 months of age. The number of children in the family child care home includes children under 6 who live in the home and children under 6 who are visiting and not accompanied by a parent or responsible adult. If the provider has children under the age of 2 in the home, these children also count in the provider's under 24-month age limit. Substitute caregivers. A substitute is someone who comes to your home to provide care. It is not someone you take the children to when you are not available. They must be reliable and at least 18 years of age. They may be used during emergency situations as well as occasional non-emergency situations such as vacations, trainings, and medical appointments. You must notify parents in advance when planning to use a substitute. You need to notify parents and guardians immediately when you need to use a substitute in an emergency situation. Substitutes may not be used for more than 2 consecutive weeks annually or more than 8 hours weekly. And a substitute may not be an individual who has a felony conviction or has been convicted of one of the crimes listed in the Family Child Care Home regulations. You are responsible for all the actions of the substitute while they are providing care in your home. You are also responsible for payment of the substitute. West Virginia DHHR does not require the substitute to have background checks completed. but these may be completed if you or your parents wish to have this done. Now we'll discuss the requirements for your home. The home must have electricity, heat, indoor plumbing, and a working telephone. Cell phones are acceptable as long as they have reliable service in your home and wireless plans or prepaid accounts are maintained in working order at all times. However, please remember that if you dial 911 from a cell phone, your exact location is not available. Therefore, you are encouraged to maintain a landline if possible. The home must have hot and cold running water. The interior doors that lock from the inside shall be able to be unlocked from the outside. If an interior door is unable to be unlocked from the outside, there are several options available to correct this, such as replacing the doorknob with one that does not lock, or using protective covers shown in the picture. You can speak to your regulatory specialist for other options if you have specific concerns about this. The home shall be kept clean and in good repair. Windows or artificial lighting shall be adequate. A working flashlight shall be available for emergency lighting. The flashlight must have working batteries installed at all times. It is recommended that this flashlight be stored out of children's reach. The home shall have a minimum of 35 square feet per child. This space does not include hallways, bathrooms, or rooms not intended or approved for children's use. Safety barriers. Indoor and outdoor stairways, hallways, and exits shall be unobstructed. Stairs of 4 or more steps shall have hand railings when children under the age of 5 are in care. Safety gates shall be provided at the top and bottom of stairs when infants and toddlers are in care. If you have open stairways, such as the one in the picture, which may make gate placement difficult, please check with your regulatory specialist for assistance. The gates and handrails apply to indoor and outdoor stairways. If you are not using upstairs for care of children under 24 months, you do not need a gate at the top, just one at the bottom. Pressure-mounted gates shall not be used at the top of stairs. The gate at the top of the stairs must be attached to the framework. Accordion-style gates are prohibited. Balconies, decks, porches, ramps, and play or living areas shall have secure, child-proof railings when elevated more than 36 inches. The space between the railings should be no more than 4 inches. Don't forget to consider the bottom of the railing as well. You can use a 4-inch ball to see if the gap may be too large. Emergency exits. Rooms used by children, except bathrooms, shall have at least 2 exits. Windows used as exits shall be no more than 44 inches from the floor. An exit can be a window or a door. If used for care of children, a basement shall have a door that exits directly to the outside. The exit door must be able to be used by a child and therefore cannot be a garage door or a storm shelter style door that opens upward. In apartment buildings where 2 exits are not available, safe and continuous passageways, aisles, and corridors that provide 2 exits shall serve to meet the requirements for this rule. Rental property. If you do not own the residence, You should check with your landlord or the property owner to ensure that you are permitted to operate a child care business. Hazards. You need to store cleaning supplies, detergents, aerosol cans, pesticides, poisons, flammable materials, poisonous and unknown plants, medicines, alcoholic beverages, or toxic materials in an area that is inaccessible to children in care. They should be kept away from food storage, and a lock may be a good idea. Items can be moved to an inaccessible cabinet or shelf, or safety latches installed on cabinet doors. Store all guns, ammunition, hunting knives, bows and arrows, and other weapons in a locked cabinet or closet. The room where the weapons are located can also be locked if a locking cabinet or locking case or closet is not available. Electrical safety. Electrical cords shall be UL listed and maintained in good condition. Cords shall not run under carpet or rugs or through common walkways. Protective covers shall be installed in all unused electrical outlets accessible to children. There must not be any exposed wires or worn surfaces. Wall sockets must not be overloaded.